not yet on everybody's travel radar, but perhaps by the end of this interview, it might be on yours, because it really is one of Europe's hidden gems. Talking about one of the Baltic states here, at its heart is the capital city of Vilnius, known for its beautiful old town, its creative energy, and its rich, rich history. And if you are looking for a European trip that still feels authentic, perhaps not as crowded as some of the major destinations, certainly full of history and of stories, this might just be a place to add to your travel bucket list. If you've already been, we would love to hear from you about where you stayed and what you ate and who you met and your favorite highlights of the trip, observations that you think would be useful to share with other travelers who might be following in your footsteps. Please pop through a WhatsApp voice note or text to 072 567 1567. And to help us get to know this fascinating destination, we are so delighted to have with us via Zoom this afternoon Gintare Kavaliūnaitė, who is from Go Vilnius, the city's official tourism board. Gintare, welcome to CapeTalk. It's wonderful to have you with us this afternoon.
Hello, it's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
It's a huge, huge pleasure. For listeners who may never have considered Lithuania before, how do you usually describe the country and where it sits in Europe?
It's Lithuania is one of the three Baltic countries which lie next to the Baltic Sea. So we are in the similar region as Scandinavia. So northern Europe, and the atmosphere and the nature has some Scandinavian feeling, because we have a lot of greenery, forests, wild beaches, a little bit cold sea.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so it's one of the three small and nice countries full of nature. Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing more about that. So for those who, I hope that's helped everybody position it, but you're talking bordered to the south by Poland and Belarus, bordered to the west by the little exclave of Russia that sits on that part of the Baltic Seas, and then to the east and north by Latvia. That's where it's positioned geographically. Gintare, do South Africans need a visa to visit Lithuania? Would it be a Schengen visa or another kind, if any?
It's a Schengen visa. So,
okay.
So you can visit like all the other European Union countries, because Lithuania is part of the European Union.
Okay, so Schengen visa required for us. And how do we reach Lithuania? Are there direct flights from many centres into Vilnius, or typically for a visitor coming from Africa, would they need to connect via one of the sort of big travel hubs?
At the moment, we don't have direct flights, but we have flights from the big hubs such as London, Frankfurt, Istanbul, and Helsinki. So I think that's the convenient ways to go. Yeah.
Okay, so several different ways to get there, and it will be a sort of a hop and a skip of a flight, but I'm sure worth it once you arrive. Gintare, let's talk about what we'll find on arrival, and let's start in your capital city, Vilnius, which I understand is just absolutely rich in history and beautiful old buildings, etc. Tell us a little bit more about Vilnius and what makes it special.
So Vilnius is quite an old European city. It's more than 700 years old. It has a nicely preserved old town which is Baroque architecture, and the old town is included in UNESCO list. So something really worth to see. It's the biggest city in the Baltic countries, and the capital city of Lithuania. We have a population of about 6,000 people, so it's not, a big metropolis. It's quite relaxed and spacious and cozy city. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The old town you've mentioned. So besides the beautiful architecture, are there museums, castles, exhibitions? What are some of the highlights that a visitor will enjoy while exploring the old town?
Sure. Yeah. So one of the kind of the top things to see is the oldest castle that is there since the foundation of the city. That is
Oh,
called Gediminas Castle, which was built by the great knight Gediminas, who founded the city. So you can have a nice panorama of the old town when you climb rather small hill in the old town. And other than that, of course, you can visit museums to learn about the history of Vilnius as well as Lithuania. We have quite a few art museums and galleries, including, for example, a modern art museum, which is called Mo Museum, with very interactive exhibitions. Yeah, and Vilnius offers also a rich cultural life. So depending on when you're visiting, you can run into, like this weekend, for example, we will have a Vilnius Light Festival, which is like
yeah.
free light installations in the old town of Vilnius. As you know, we have winter now and quite a long period of darkness. So to light up, we have this light festival. If you come in May or June, we have a lot of music events going on, as well as theater. Also for the warm season, it's really nice to do some active vacation activities,
Yeah.
such as, kayaking or hiking. And you can do all this while staying in the city because city contains a lot of green areas.
You've emphasized that several times, and I think it's not something people tend to picture when they think of the Baltic. They think of a wild, icy sea, they think of the ancient buildings, etc. But green spaces and opportunities to hike and be outdoors, not necessarily top of mind. So I'm really glad you've emphasized that for us, that it's possible to really get outdoors and enjoy nature without even leaving the capital city. I think I've been told that it's even possible to ski quite close to the city. Am I correct in remembering that?
Yes, you're correct. You can do cross-country skiing in our biggest park, which is
Hmm.
in the middle of the city, or you can do skiing on the hill, which is also in the city. We don't have big mountains as South Africa does, but we have we have a special hill made, yeah, which is really good for skiing. So we have actually people who sometimes go on their lunch break to ski and then they come back to
Wow.
work.
Going to add that to the list of demands at work here. We're a little bit lacking in snow, though. It could be a problem. I just want to say for anybody who is tuning in midway to this interview, who might be wondering who you're listening to, our guest joining us via Zoom this afternoon is Gintare Kavaliūnaitė from Go Vilnius. That's the official tourism board of Vilnius, Lithuania. It's the capital city of the Baltic state. And chatting to us about the many reasons you should think about visiting Lithuania on your next holiday. It's not really sort of top of mind for those planning a European trip from South Africa, but perhaps it should be. Gintare, we're hearing a lot globally about over tourism and seeing people complaining about how some of the sort of more regular popular tourist sites are just becoming overrun by the sheer volume of numbers of visitors that are actually spoiling the experience. From what you're saying, it sounds like that's not a big concern for Vilnius and for Lithuania generally. Are you finding that your visitor numbers are still manageable, that you can have an experience that still feels quite unrushed and uncrowded?
Yes, for sure. We feel that that's a difference that we have actually. Yes, if you come to Vilnius, you don't have crowds, you don't have queues, at the restaurants or museums. Everything is quite easy to reach. So the visitor numbers are growing steadily, but yeah, they are still manageable, and the city is quite spacious. So yeah, you don't get this feeling of being, tired because of the crowds. So if
Yeah.
for those who want to have some more space, then Vilnius is a good choice.
Our listener Lucy has had the privilege of visiting several years ago, and she says her favorite, absolute highlight of the trip was the island castle of the old Grand Dukes. I think that's outside of Vilnius, though. Am I correct?
Yes, that's she probably means Trakai Castle, which is about 30 kilometers from the Vilnius center. So it's kind of like a half-day trip. And yeah, I would agree. It's a great day trip, especially on a summer day, because you can also not only visit the historic castle, but you can sail, kayak, or also swim in the lakes, because it's a nice lake region. And you can
Trakai
take a
Castle.
train from Vilnius to get to Trakai, so it's like a nice half-hour train ride, and then walking in the beautiful lake region.
Sounds gorgeous. Lucy, thank you for the tip. Keith would like to know, how easy would it be for an English-speaking South African to get around and communicate with the people of Lithuania? Tell us a little bit about language and whether there's a language barrier.
Yeah, English at the moment, English is really spoken widely in Lithuania. You know, the main language here is Lithuanian, but as for many small countries, people always know 2 or 3 languages just to travel around the European Union and things like that. So there is no problem absolutely to speak in English.
Okay, good news, Keith. Thanks for asking. And then Johan asking the most important question of all. Let's talk about the food. What are, for so many people, food experience is a huge part of their holiday. What would you recommend a visitor should try? What are some of the traditional dishes or flavors or things to look out for that will give your stomach a fresh experience?
Yes, so Vilnius is actually becoming a trendy gastronomic destination because of we recently joined the Michelin list with 4 restaurants with 1 star. So there is a nice selection of fine dining with a low kind of young and local chefs inventing their own way of preparing food, combining the local products and the modern kind of take on that. So that's fine dining. And other than that, we have traditional food, which is, we are kind of like our history is a lot of farming communities. So the traditional food is a bit heavy. It has a lot of potatoes and meat. But there is one dish that is becoming very popular lately is a dish that is called pink soup. So that's a summer dish which is made from beetroot, and it looks pink, but it's a very refreshing soup. So we even have a festival dedicated to this soup. It's called Vilnius Pink Soup Fest. Because it's kind of like we hold this festival every year at the last days of spring, and this is kind of an opening of the summer season when you can be outside. It's long summer days, and you can eat refreshing cold beetroot soup with kefir.
Okay.
I would really recommend it.
So, Johan, you know what to put first on your food bucket list when you're visiting. Thank you for your question. I'm so glad that Enid has messaged us reflecting on the fact that there are many South Africans who have Lithuanian heritage in their past. My own family, I'm aware of the fact that on our family tree there is a branch that came from Lithuania originally. Enid feeling quite sad listening to this conversation because she says, my father had to flee there as a result of the pogroms. And Enid touching on, the fact that Lithuania has a very long and fraught history. It's a space that has been occupied and fought over and had a lot of displacement over the years, and many different sort of eras in its history. Is that something that's fully reflected in the visitor experience? How does that impact that very diverse history, which includes a lot of conflict? How does that shape the visitor experience today, Gintare?
Yes, so Vilnius and Lithuania, we have a quite diverse history, and the 20th century has not been easy, and it really does have some really sad and dark moments. This is a very important part of the identity of the city, to kind of try to work with all this history and to reflect it in the museum. So we have some of the places which I would recommend to visit is the Museum of Freedom Fights. That's about the struggle for independence. There is a Jewish museum which has recently opened a new branch, which is talking about the identity of the local Jew population, the Litvaks, and their huge contribution to the culture, politics, food, and things like that. So Vilnius has a history with the Polish community, with Jewish community, and other nationalities, which it is trying to integrate all this kind of complicated and difficult history, and to see it as how we move forward, but not forgetting the past.
Yeah. And I mean, I just want to echo what you say, that some people might think that to visit a museum like that and to be reminded of sad history is not a fun thing to do on holiday, but they can be some of the most powerful experiences. And I'm thinking of another example that's done it so well in Amsterdam, the Holocaust Museum. Absolutely one of the most powerful experiences I had during my experience of that city, because it was done with such sensitivity and really thought-provoking. So I absolutely echo what you've said, Gintare, that those are places worth visiting to remember and reflect while we look forward. We've got a voice note in from a listener who wants to comment. Let's take a quick listen to that before we wrap up.
Lithuania has been on my travel radar for a long time. I haven't been there yet, but if you are in the area, Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, and Riga, the capital of Latvia, are also really worth visiting. Tallinn, the old town of Tallinn in Estonia, is probably the most magical place I've ever been to. Wow. And Riga in Latvia was also thoroughly enjoyed. They've both got bitter herbal liqueurs. Estonia's one is called Vana Tallinn. That is delicious. Latvia's one is called Black Balsam. I did not enjoy that at all. In Riga, in Latvia, near the main square, we found 2 oceans, sparkling wine, not cup classic, sparkling wine, selling at the price of French champagne. And we then, as I said, it was a few years ago, then English was a bit of a problem. And we tried to explain to them, but either they wouldn't listen or they didn't understand.
I bet you drank it anyway. Ilse, thank you. What a lovely voice note, and really flying the flag there for the whole Baltic region. And if you're traveling all that distance, then why not make it a multi-country experience if you're able to? Gintare, you've done such a wonderful job of painting the picture for us of the attractions of Lithuania, and particularly of the capital city, Vilnius. Last quick question to you is around affordability. Is it still a relative? I mean, anything in Europe is expensive for South Africans traveling on the rand, but compared to some of the other big tourist destinations, would you say it's still a relatively affordable destination?
Yes, indeed. Vilnius often ranks on the economy side of among European destinations. So it's still, the accommodation is from €60, and you can eat for relatively small prices. So yes, this is quite a good quality for money.
I hope I get to come and experience it for myself soon. In the meantime, though, Gintare Kavaliūnaitė, thank you so much for opening our eyes to this destination, and we wish you all the best for the Light Festival this weekend and the visitors in the year beyond. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Great to have you with us. Gintare Kavaliūnaitė from Go Vilnius, which is the official tourism board for the capital city of Lithuania.